All right, Johnny. They passed the post-Ohio State test pretty easily, 45-14. Indiana went through a lot of quarterbacks today. None of them did particularly well. But Penn State's running game and their defense, really. Story of the game, we got to see Drew Aller in the second half. James Franklin had a nice little exchange with us after the game. He said it was never really a story to them. Like they were always going to go with Sean Clifford. They hoped to get Drew in the game. Mission accomplished. I think Indiana did them a favor by not playing great today.
Yeah, you said they passed the test. I mean, it seemed like they had the answer before the game started, knowing that Indiana's run defense, uncharacteristically under Tom Allen, just hasn't been doing well this season. They've, going into this game, allowed 6 out of 7 FBS rushers, in games against FBS teams, 100 yards, and so they've been leaky in that regard. They've been porous on the run game, and Katron Allen took advantage of that. Nick Singleton late in the game, as they were wearing them down, took advantage of that. Their quarterback play has not been good this year. Connor Bazelak did not start. He had 9 interceptions coming into this game, and they went with a myriad of other options who didn't fare much better. Penn State's secondary denied Dennis Sutton getting an interception as well. So it was the kind of performance that you wanted if you're Penn State, coming off that Ohio State loss. We talked to Sean Clifford after the game, and he even mentioned that game, he said, pissed the whole team off and really bothered them. And that they wanted to come out during this game and show something, and they felt like they did.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting when we're talking to James, Johnny. Like, I think he feels like the media and maybe the fans are making a bigger issue of the quarterback picture than there should be. And he said, you guys get to see practice, but you don't get to see a lot of practice, and you really only have 1% of the information that goes into deciding who's going to play, who's going to back up. So my takeaway was there's really not a quarterback issue at Penn State. The question is, how many times will they be able to get Drew Aller in the game the rest of the season to get him ready for next year?
Yeah, that's what we talked about so much this week. Was not only is Drew Aller going to get in, but when, and he ends up getting in the second half. Some people maybe thought that there was an opportunity at the end of the first half when they're up 24-7, or pushing for that lead to get him in at that point. But he ended up getting 2 series with the first team offense, and then the rest really with the second team offense and against Indiana's second team defense. So kind of hard to pull from that. But he looked good. That bullet pass in the back of the end zone. That was a laser to Harrison Wiles. It was a great play. Had another touchdown as well. I think he went 9 of 12 for 75 yards. He didn't make any mistakes, and he showed those flashes. He continues to show those, even on incompletion. Sometimes you just marvel at the way he throws the ball, how he throws it, how it just comes out of his hand. And so I think he did well on the opportunities that he had, and really the opportunity that was afforded to him via the run game, because Penn State's the offensive line, which was banged up. Olu Fashanu didn't travel. Landon Tengwall didn't travel. They had Hunter Norzad go down on the first play, and those guys battled, and Drew Scruggs in the middle of it all at center was big, and it was a collective effort from the run game, offensive line and the running backs.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to the start of the year with the offensive line, and other than Drew Scruggs, Caden Wallace isn't really even in the picture. Bryce Effner is really like a starter now. Olu, when healthy, is a dominant player, but you don't know what's bothering him. They give the freshman Drew Shelton a start. This is the right team to start him against. But even the guards, they're very wary of burning some red shirts. They didn't want to have to do that. So Hunter Norzad played hurt. Salim Wormley, I think, played banged up. And despite all of that, they were really in control at scrimmage, but not as much as the defense against this Indiana offense. It was over, I think, pretty early. They had that 1 touchdown early. They adjusted, and then it was 16 tackles for loss. They had 6 different guys had sacks, 3 interceptions. So this was a feel-good game after playing, Michigan and Ohio State 2 of the last 3 weeks, and it should bode well for the final 3 games.